Good evening. Yeah, this is Patty K again on the scholarly work. I will be having a podcast on a reflective paper titled Reflection on Psychological Experiences During the Last 5 Months. This writer, like most people, has different roles that impact her psychological well-being. As a mother, a daughter, a family member, a member of a vibrant diaspora community, a professional and an employee working and living abroad, thousands of miles from her ancestral home, the writer has to juggle diverse roles. The psychological experiences in the last 5 months were overwhelming. The writer, who is a middle-aged adult female, is impacted by culture, family structure, socioeconomic status, and gender, as these reflections will show. According to Erickson, cited in Government Women College, generativity involves finding your life's work and contributing to the development of others. The writer found being supportive of her elderly mother emotionally rewarding, though stressful. She remembers her mother in her younger years as vibrant, working hard to keep her family together. Her later years were not as vibrant and were the source of mixed psychological experiences for the writer. The writer's mother was sick, and her sickness was financially demanding, causing psychological stress to the writer. The writer's mother was a post-cancer survivor. The effect of head and neck radiotherapy done 7 years before was taking a toll not only on the mother's health but also psychological stress to the writer and her extended family. Financial stress was inevitable, as many caregivers can testify of their own experiences. Her mother's sickness demanded expensive medication to survive, and this was sourced from a distant country of India, leaving the writer and her family financially strained. She was happy, though, that she was there for her mother. Fear of her elderly and sickly mother's death was another source of psychological stress. The writer wondered each time she visited her home country of Kenya, as she lives abroad, if it would be the last time she would find her mother alive. Her last visit in July 2024 was no different. Her mother, though mentally alert and active, was gradually deteriorating. She had become clinically blind and deaf, and the loss and grief experienced by the mother also became the writer's and the family's loss and grief. The inevitable finally happened, and on November 22nd, 2024, the writer received the most dreaded news. Her mother had died. What the writer experienced was painful and dumbfounding. She could not agree more with Heinemann A.M.'s statement that grief is a powerful, painful experience that can bring trauma and personal transformation to the grieving. This was the writer's worst experience within the last 5 months. The writer had to face the pain of traveling thousands of miles to bury a mother. The lonely flights to and fro from her home country were filled with deep reflections on her motherland, and how her mother was no longer there to make it truly motherland. But it still would be, because her mother was buried there, she reflected. These were the thoughts that flooded her mind. How did the writer cope, one may wonder. The writer's initial reaction was shocking and disbelieving, as cited by Taranel 2023 on Kubler-Ross stages of dying. A period of denial is quite normal in the context of terminal illness and could be important for processing difficult information. End of quote. The Western world can be lonely with the citizenry living an individualistic lifestyle different from what the writer grew up with. The writer found solace in the diaspora church community, which is her support system, and a safety net community that held a memorial service that helped begin a healing journey. 2 months later, the writer is well enough to tell her story of loss and grief as she continues the healing process. She has embraced a time when there will be no pain and took the courage to go to school. There is something that brings her closer to her mother, who was an educator and advocated for the girl child's education and motivated her higher education. In conclusion, the writer reflected on her psychological experiences, on how her psychological experiences have affected her in the last 5 months, and gave a background of the source of the trigger. She highlighted how she was bothered by her elderly and sickly mother's struggles with post-cancer challenges that impacted her life, causing her and her family stress. The writer highlighted how the stress and financial strains caused stress. She stated the effects on her family members as well as psychological journey of loss and grief as she experienced the processed her mother's loss of health, sight, hearing, and finally losing her life to death 2 months ago. Living in a foreign country with a different culture took embracing the Kenyan culture within the foreign culture as a most appreciated solace at the beginning of the healing journey. Thank you so much for listening to my reflections. May you subscribe, like, share, and comment. I need your feedback. Give me feedback. Thank you so much, and God bless you. This is Patty K, Scholarly 2025. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you.